Hello class. In this video what we're going to look at is we're going to continue to look at setting up a basic template, a basic grid for our layout. The 3-column one that we did through setting up a new file was quick and easy, but I also like to work with a 2-column grid at times, and I like to mix and match, and I'll show you that either in another video at the end of this, just some examples of how you might do that. And I also like, although I like to work in columns, I like to define my halfway point, so sort of have 2 rows in here as well, just briefly to do that. So what we're going to use master pages and guidelines to help get our grid a little bit more advanced and a little bit more flexible. So if we remember in the last video I set up these spreads here. I have my cover page 1, a spread 2 and 3, and a spread 4 and 5. That's down in this section. Well, notice they each have this little A in the corner, and that's in reference to the master pages, which are up here. If I click on the master page, we see it looks pretty much identical to what I was just looking at, what I do up in this section will affect anything that has an A down here. I'll actually show us maybe in the next video how to do a B master slide, but for now I'll show you. I'm going to make changes to this master slide here, and we'll see that it affects every page down below. Now, since I'm going to work with guides and I'm an architect, I like to work in inches, so I'm going to change my rulers to inches by right-clicking over the top of it and changing it to inches on that guy, and right-clicking over the top of this and change that to inches on this side. And of course this is 8.5 by 11. So the first easy guide I'm going to do is I'm going to do a horizontal one to break my page in a top half and a bottom half. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come down to let's see, I'm going to come down to 5.5 inches, which you can sort of see on the guideline. It says 5.5 right there. I can also see in the top left corner that it says 5.5. Now we see it's only affecting one page. Right now I just flipped it to 2 pages. That's because I pressed Control on my keyboard, and I'm going to let go and set my dividing line right like that by right in half the page, and we got this guideline here. I'm just going to keep it like that. I think my halfway guideline, I just need one line like that, just so I give a sense of what is in top and what is in bottom. What I'm getting down to is I'm going to make another column. You could do this on another master slide. I find it easier just to do it all together. But I'm going to divide each page in half as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come and pull from the side tab and pull it over. And in this guy, I'm going to come, let's see, this is 8.5. So 8.5 is 4.25. That's my halfway point. And I'm just going to drop a line there. Ultimately, I want to have a gutter, which means a spacing in between the columns, just like this. But for now, I'm just defining that halfway point on that page, and I'll come through and define the halfway point on this page as well, which is going to be at 12.75 because the 0 point is coming from way over at this side. Now if I zoom in here, I know my gutter previously on these guys was about 3/16 of an inch. So if I zoom way in, we can see my rulers are changing. So I have to sort of go, you know, I got to go over whatever, like 3/32 on that side, and I got to go 1, 2, 3/32 on that side, and we can see that I got my gutter width the same on that side there. Now these little columns here aren't meant to be really columns. I'm going to either use it as this being a column, this being a column, and this being a column, or just 2 columns on each side. And I'm going to come over here and sort of do the same thing, go 3/32 over on one side, 1, 2, 3 there, and pull a new 1, 1, 2, 3 on that side to get my gutter on that side. And we can see now I've got the same sort of setup. So I've got guides here, and now as I was saying before, if I come back down to my regular pages, we see that these guides exist in all my pages. And I've got a template, and I've got the full grid I will be using, and I recommend using for this because it's very flexible. We'll come through, we might add more guidelines to this, and you might end up tweaking some things here or there as you're sort of going along. But basically this, I think, is a great point for any portfolio. It could be done in so many different ways. This will be very useful for you. What I'll do is I'll come through another video and also explain a little bit about how to use these columns. I'll do it in class, but I know it can be a little confusing. So I'll do another video sort of showing the result of some of these things. All right.